What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about ChargePoint. It is currently down 13.2%, and I want to give you a good overview on why and if it's justified or not. So I'm going to go over all that. Make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So like I said, currently down now 13.3%, 27.16 million shares being traded, 14.77 is the average. So a lot of eyes are on ChargePoint today, and it is all because of this news. So GM Tesla collaboration, and it does look like Tesla announced through the partnership that are allowing GM EV owners access to Tesla's large supercharger network as early as 2024. So this is one of those things that's sparking a little bit of fear, because a lot of people are now thinking that this is going to cut down on their revenue and various things like that, especially piggybacking off their recent earnings that they came out with, I think, last week. But still, in reality, we already do know that the whole EV sector, regardless of what aspect you are investing in, is going to continue to grow. But with that growth is going to bring a little bit more competition. So again, it's one of those things that is fairly good, that it definitely will help strive for a lot more innovative ideas. So in reality, I do feel that this is a little bit more of an overreaction, because hopefully ChargePoint behind the scenes would have assumed that a lot of this competition is just going to continue to grow and try and take some market share. So again, it's one of those situations that, yes, it sucks, but is it an overreaction? In my opinion, yes. But I'm not a financial advisor. You guys always do your own due diligence, but I'll give you guys a quick overview of the rest of the data points to see if it does validate with, obviously, like I just mentioned. Starting off with this, big money. So big money, as you can see, there's been 2 transactions. These are on the secondary market showing anything over $100,000. This is the price it went for, the bid and the ask. So both of these were buys. And of course, as you can see, it's not really that favorable among big institutions. So the fact that there is 2 goes to show that in reality, it might be a good buying opportunity as well, especially around the 840 range. But one good thing as well that you can always look at is options activity. So this is all the options activity today. So as of right now, there was $2.89 million in call premiums versus $2.98 million in puts. So very, very evenly divided. Whereas over the last little bit, it has been oriented towards puts. So clearly, based on today, it definitely goes to show that people are assuming that it might be trending up a little bit based on this sell-off that did happen today. But if you do look at a lot of this, so this is all the expiry dates, strike prices, everything that you need to know based on the pre-existing options, it does show that around 850 to 9 is a fair realistic price target for ChargePoint in the next week or so. But keep in mind, options activity is just merely a sentiment. It doesn't necessarily move the stock price. So given the price of ChargePoint right now, I do feel that this also does validate that it is a little bit more of an overreaction. But again, it's up to you guys to determine that, because at the time of doing this video, there is no press releases, no SEC filings, nothing along those lines. So it is just merely following off of this news, technicals, and everything else. So as far as technicals, I'll give you guys a quick overview of that. So with it being at $8.35, it is exactly sitting on this S1. So that is $8.34. This is a very strong support level. So I don't feel it's going to close below that. And if so, then it'll obviously trade between the S2 and the S1. So I do feel that it's going to hold this though, $8.34. So it might kind of just trade within this range up until there's either good news on a broader economic standpoint or something along those lines. So you can obviously anticipate $9.12 the next big resistance and $8.34 the next support. But of course, anything could technically happen in the next couple hours before the market closes. But I'll give you guys a quick overview of what shorts are doing. Shorts have been a pain for ChargePoint for a while now. Short score is currently 88. Utilization is at 100%. And as far as what they're doing today, they're returning 1.12 million shares. And I really hate to see this. Any stock that happens in this regard, when there is a very big sell-off, but yet shorts are able to freely return some of their shares, it goes to show behind the scenes the sentiment among investors are just killed, and it's really just shot. So it is unfortunate to see this kind of situation happen. But again, this is why it's important to look at a lot of the data points on every other aspect to give you a good overview of what is truly happening behind the scenes and what is the sentiment. So 20.03% of the free float is being shorted, and that works out to be almost 60 million shares. Cost to borrow average is going down a little bit today, so 13.02%, and like I said, that is the average. So when it comes down to it, But like I said, I do feel based on majority of the data points, it's all saying that it is a little bit more of an overreaction, but it's one of those things that you have to be comfortable with a lot of volatility. As I mentioned, the whole EV market is going to continue to grow. All the stats justify that, plain and simple. It's been the writing on the wall for a while now. But at the same time, like I mentioned, with that growth and profitability, that's going to entice a lot more companies to get into that sector, because I do believe, especially in a lot of these, the barrier for entry is fairly low. So of course that's something just to consider. But when it comes down to it, looking at these two data points, so today is a little bit more bearish. So stochastic is currently at 71, so it was a little bit overbought a little bit in general. So I think today is also a cooling off period, so of course that's fairly healthy for the long-term health of the stock. But like I said, a bearish sentiment is starting to form today. Number of retail investors are getting out, surprisingly, so maybe they don't like the volatility, or maybe they are sensing something coming. Who knows? I'll leave it up to you guys to make that determination. But still, as I've mentioned, when it comes down to ChargePoint, it is a long-term investment. Any stock technically in the whole EV sector is a long-term investment. Short-term, they're still trying to find their niche for the most part, and especially based on the recent earnings as well. They did have a lot of good growth, but clearly not as good as a lot of other kind of expectations. So in the short term, you can always anticipate a lot of volatility, for instance, in ChargePoint and other EV stocks as well. So again, it's all up to you guys to make that determination on where things are. But based on just this stats alone and the fact that big money is buying and all the other data points, I do feel that this is a little bit more of an overreaction, especially looking on the actual chart. It is lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, and because of today, it did break below a lot of the pivotal moving averages, one of which is the central Bollinger Band and also the 50-day moving average. And in ChargePoint's case, that 50-day moving average is very, very important. It takes a lot for it to actually get above that, plain and simple. I think we already know that at this stage. But generally, when it does break above that, this is where you usually see a very big rally up. But because of their recent earnings, and obviously today as well, the news is just killing the sentiment a little bit more. So once again, let me know you guys' thoughts on all of this in the comments below. Give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, or if you bought this dip today, and potentially where you see things going. I myself have a bid in at $8.32, so we'll see if it hits, because like I said, I believe in ChargePoint long term, and I know it's going to be a lot of volatility, but still I'm comfortable with that. So let me know you guys' thoughts on all this in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Take advantage of free promos always, and that is with Moomoo. Link in the description below and also the comment. Sign up for a free account, you get one free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, and as you can see, deposit $100, you get 5 free stocks plus $100 cash reward. Like, this is just boom, mind-blowing. Take advantage of this promo while you can. Link in the description below and also the comments. Without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money eventually on ChargePoint.